Well, here we are. So, we're going to do a stream. I'm going to program today, and one of my viewers requested that I show them a little bit of HTML development. So what I will do is once he's online, if he gets online today, I'll do a little tangent to show off that. And I might even make it its own video for watching later on my YouTube channel. Goes over this, what an IDE is, sets them up with a basic one, shows them a simple development loop for HTML, which will basically speed up his process. He'll basically learn all of it a lot faster. Okay, let's see. Turn that sideways. Just about ready to begin. Okay. Whoops. There we go. I see all of my bot friends are starting to show up on my user list in chat. Welcome, bots. Don't expect you to say anything because you're bots, but that's okay. My favorite bot users. All right, so busting out the list. No, I don't want to update right now. We are not going to look at this. We can look at this at a to-do list somewhere. Okay. So yesterday we started making a bad guy, which was a tank, and basically bumped the tank up to the top of the list. I might actually make this my home page. There we go. So now when I load the browser for the first time of the day, I get to see my to-do list, the one that matters. So I started working on the tank. I did a lot of work on the graphics yesterday, and that was nice. Made this guy. The next step would be to make him better. It would be to make him, actually have a turret. But I also got some commissioned kind of artwork done, which we're going to switch over here so I can find it real quick, and then we'll jump right back. Okay, so it should be in this thing. So we'll copy that over to our resources folders. It's all in the same place. There we go. And then open it up and switch back to sharing my desktop. Okay, so this guy obviously looks a lot more filled up with stuff. He even it just looks different. I could split this up properly if I import it as a sprite sheet. I can animate it a lot easier. So let me do that. We're going to save this as, actually we'll close this, import sprite sheet, select file, D for delivery, Okay, and this is 32 by 32. Okay, and then we're going to do by rows, import, and there we go. So I can play the whole thing. I've got my animations and everything. Now this looks pretty sweet. But I'm thinking that instead of just taking this guy and using him, he kind of looks like the main character with armor on. So I could have it just be his armor. This is the death animation. I think there might be a way to take this information and actually have it import directly into Unity. I haven't looked into this at all. However, I think I will be pleasantly surprised if I do. So, there we go. Got me a whole crew today. All right. So, I now have my tags. So now I can actually loop these things properly. So this is ping pong. This is ping pong as well. So ping pong means it goes bing, 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 and just goes back and forth on the thing. Walking up, walking right, upright, walking to the right, walking down to the right, walking down. So he looks really tough. He looks like he's wearing a suit of armor or something compared to this. He's very exposed. I might go this route of having the armor pieces be on top of the character and they get taken off. But that's a lot of work to do right now. It may not be worth it. This is looking pretty good for now. All right. Well, I've configured this. So we're going to save it as armored player character. And I can come back to this later. In the meantime, we should look at export sprite sheet JSON to Unity I'm wondering if the JSON data will be like tell it it's this type of thing. Interesting. Beware not to have same frames except for otherwise export. That's fine. Unity. Okay, so this does not have Unity. Didn't even look at the stuff here. Nice. $10. I don't think it does what I want it to do in the fullest. So I'll have to research it later offline, not during the stream. Alright. Yesterday we were able to really make a nice tank graphic. It's fun to look at. Put a tank in there. Level 2. I have to fix the tanks because there's a certain way to shoot them and then they start bouncing around, which is not good. Like that. That movement's maybe a good reaction to getting shot, but it shouldn't be something that... Like it's doing physics simulation right here. I don't need that. My understanding is that there's hitboxes and then there's one that's got like a rigid body. So this one has a rigid body. It's the tank itself. And then I have a world hitbox, collides with the world. This one collides with projectiles. This one's where I should put the rigid body. Whereas this one here should not be simulated and it should be kinematic. See if I got that right the first time. Okay, so it's not moving at all. So that's not good. So let's put back to dynamic. See, I have two rigid bodies now. Let's see. Yeah, so now they're not moving. So now I go back here. Let's get rid of that one. Run this again. Yeah, I basically broke it. Okay, that should fix some bugs later. I was getting tired of having to set the flash to white every time. I like having the option to override it, but I'm really not doing that enough for it to matter. So what that did is it fixed it. It was flashing red, and that was the old flash color because I didn't have a shader implemented to do the flash color. Now I do, so we're going to let the shader handle the flashing colors. Pretty good. I think when I raided the other day, I got rid of most of my bot users, which is nice. I had a lot of them. Maybe Twitch is actually getting rid of them. So Twitch has this thing where they're getting rid of the ability to host, and there were these channels that would exclusively host people. They join every channel possible, idle, and they would just host another channel, and it seemed like it was like a bot thing. And they weren't real viewers either, so. Okay, so we got that done. This guy's too big. His sprite's too big. I'm not really. This guy, the wall turret, he just looks kind of out of place now. Because I'm getting everything standardized to consistent sort of size. Like the boss still needs to get fixed, and so does this. I'm actually going to make a new boss, I guess, that's a little more stationary. Let's see. So why don't I start doing something? Tank. Basically I need to shoot about 1 to 3 bullets at a time. Thought I had written more about how this tank's going to behave. But the idea is it moves and it can shoot and turn the turret, or it can just shoot in one direction. And it behaves similar to the stationary turrets. So the stationary turrets would be these guys, where they shoot 3 in one direction. They shoot a random amount in a given direction. Weird. Something's... Oh, I see. So I'm like going back and forth, but it seems like it's not responding as fast as I like it. What's happening is you only can move as frequently as you shoot. But I think it makes more sense to have your character look in the direction you're trying to shoot, even if you can't shoot yet. Like I'm switching as quickly as I can. Seems like I'm getting stuck. gathering a lot of to-do items today. Okay, we'll start with the tank. I need to shoot in various directions. The wall turret controller has kind of it has a kind of a, you know, an idea of where I could go with it. So the shot angle here is just which direction should it face to begin with. So 0 being north, 180 being the bottom. 90 degrees should be to the right. We'll see what this is doing. Yeah, so I have the area to shoot being the directions. And so down. So it's like down, and then he could shoot 2 angles to the right, but he doesn't shoot the one to the very right. I almost would benefit from creating a list of just booleans that for each potential shot direction. So this is a wall turret. It does what it needs to do. I want to create a new one that I can configure. Or I can keep this one. I'm just thinking. You know what? I think the idea is the turret has certain areas it can shoot. I'm going to program it in a way that you can hit a checkbox and it will change which directions you can shoot. I wonder if I can make this its own direction object thing and reuse it later. So that would be a class. Class object, kind of like how I have timer as its own thing. Open timer? Yeah, so open timer's something else. Okay. I'm going to create a script that will not be a component. It'll be directions object. Or I'm just going to call it directions. Its purpose will be to keep track of all the directions that something has access to and whether or not you can move in that direction. So then I can use that to configure this like basic thing. Oh, can I shoot in that direction? Can I move in that direction? Up, down, left, right. Okay, good. Right now it's called wall turret controller, but I'm just going to call it turret controller. This switch here needs to take a direction input and shoot in that direction. It also needs to translate a number. So I need a method to translate a number 1 through 10 or something into a direction, and then have a switch based off the direction tell it where to shoot. Now this has more directions than I listed. It has some additional ones. So we got up, down, left, right, etc. But now we have down, right, mid. So what does that look like? It's going to be some weird thing I make up. So right now we have down, right, up, there, diagonal, diagonal. And what I was doing with the turret was I was having it shoot down, right, up, left. And I was also shooting here and here, here and here, here and here, here and here, but not here. So I need to add those. So what I'll do is I will add them, but I'll add them with their degree names. So it'll be public pool down 280. So in this, these are all down. Because they're 30-degree variations. So we'll start with 120, 150, 210, 250. It looks like I messed up here. 30, 30, 30, 250. You know, it's off. It should be 30 increment all the way, so it'd be the 180 is directly down. Does he not shoot to it down? He's starting, yeah, I'm missing 180, which is down, so I don't need it. So then that would be, so I could take down and put it here. Right, so now I have 180 to 180, but then this is broken too because it's 180. It should now go from 180 to 210 to 240 to 270. So what did I do wrong? Let's get that. So what I was doing is I was doing 250. I put the 0 at the top, so I'd have to rotate this. There we go. So I was doing 180 like this, and I was shooting here. See, 250's there, which from 270 to 240, that makes sense, but I was doing 280. I had messed up, so the whole thing was already not correct, right? So this should be 240. Yeah, I'm getting techie, but this once I get all the technicals done, I can translate it to simple stuff. So now I've got all these micro angles, these 30 degrees, 30 degree variations. And now, according to this chart, 270 is left. Getting out them protractors is right. So this should be left. And to make it really simple, it's up, right, down, left. So this is now, this should be right. So what is down right? Down right should be the actual halfway point between 90 and 180, which should be 135. So that would be, right here would be down right. And then this one here would be down left. Yeah, getting real serious. Now I do the whole up section, which is 0 plus 30, and then 270 as well to go around the other side. So we'll start from left and get all my up stuff, and then upright will come this way. So this will be up left, and this will be up here. So this should go 90 degrees around. So that means that this next one would be 280, and then this would be public boolean up 270. $300. Okay, so we look here and say left, and the protractor is 270. So that doesn't need to be there. 230, 330. So 270 plus 45, 315. So that's less than. It's 330. And then up is 360 or 0, so I'm just going to leave it. And there we go. Oh wait, we gotta do the increments from up. So that would be 30. Alright, great. So now I have all my little directions and stuff, so that should be easy. I bet you Unity does have a protractor type angle thing. So I got all this. Now we're going to jump to this wall turret, and I'm going to define its actual shot directions it has. So that should be it should have a turret thing here. Oh, I have broken the turret. Compile errors. Do I have compile errors in here? No. I changed the name of it. Let me just change it back. Cannot be loaded. Please fix. Okay, we're gonna. Ugh. That's what I get for doing that. We'll undo that. Click back here. Let it reload. Okay, good. Now, I'm going to add the directions object. Yeah, he's freaky looking. So I have a shoot direction. And I've got all the stuff here defined, but I don't want it shooting up at all. Oh, okay, here we go. We're going to open this, editing it in here. So now I'm getting rid of shooting up. I don't want it to shoot any of the default directions besides down. So this is what it was doing before. It wasn't doing that one either. It was shooting down, this direction, those directions. It wasn't shooting right or left. So those are my directions. Now I need to take this information that I just put in here and get rid of this, the shot angle to start. You go down here, it's like, okay, what's the angle? Shoot angle. We're starting with 0. We're starting with that angle, and then we're modifying the angle. Bullet angle. Yeah, so that doesn't do anything. That's the direction to shoot. It's set to down to start, but yeah, okay. Now I need to create a set of constants that represent these directions. So I'm actually going to do a and I'm going to give them values. That way I can program them to be useful. So what I'll do is I'll just take this entire list, paste down here. You know what? I'm going to take that out. Go to a text editor here. That. I'm going to uppercase all this. Boom. Put a comma at the end of each of these. Oh, I want to put the number. I just want it to be different than what I have above, so that I know it's the constant value. So the above stuff's a bit, it can be true or false. This bottom stuff represents the direction in a number format, so I can do comparisons against it. Having it done like this will make it easier for me to convert from this set of information to another set. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this set here, which is default, is going to be true, and I'm going to take all this information and determine how long the list should be. So in here I'm going to have a method that just says public int total directions, and then all that's going to do is take all of these directions do int equals 0, and then I'm just going to total these. I could have done a list of booleans, but that wouldn't allow me to edit it in the editor. So now I'll do this. If up direction count plus plus. And that'll basically be what I do for all of these. I'm starting to realize that there's actually an even better way I could go about this, but I'm gonna chill for a second. I'm thinking I could, well actually let me just see. I could actually make these bit masks, and do bitwise operations on them. Yeah, I'm no chill mode today. All Alright, let me double check my math here. 8, that should be 92. So let's just see if this is right. So 4,096 times 2. Yeah, I got that right. Times 2 is 16,384. Times 2 is 3278. That number. 32768. Okay. Instead of this, I could do it's not too complicated, but it can be if you don't know bitwise operations. The idea is like first I want to sum up the total mass, like the valid mass range. I want to do I guess I'm doing a count now. I want to be able to know what my potential range of directions are. Generate a random number between 1 and the total. Have that number then map me to the direction that that represents. So I have a list of directions. So I have the count, but I also can do another count, which I'll have be the actual ranges here. Up does not exist in this context. Int. No chill today. Okay. Then I could take the enum and get the list of potential enumerator options. No chill is right. Must be something. Let's see. C sharp enum. Turn enum into a list. Maybe it's a link query. All the values of enum. Get values type of that. Okay. We're getting our base list. Telling me I don't need that. What is this? Directions enum get to values. So it's just enum. You don't enum. Directions enum cast. There we go. Does not exist. System. Okay, now we have that. Directions enum. We cannot do that way. So what did I? Some enum. Type of enums to some enum. Type of enum to some enum. Okay, so to list. Let's just do that. Yep, it's link. Okay. So now I have a list. No chill development. No. No, chatting. I'm gonna just. Chatting development. There we go. So I should be able to filter this down where enum or item and bit mask range greater than 0. And so, oh, you know what? Is that can only be applied to operands of that and bool. Cannot be applied to that and bool. So this is a long. This is a long. So if I do parentheses that and that. And this is actually it needs to be converted to a long. There we go. Should get me my valid directions list. Where that to list. Okay. And I'm just going to go into the turret here, and on start I'm going to do valid directions. Just to make sure it works. We only want one turret where we're testing this out. Okay, there he is. One guy. Alright. So I should be getting a smaller list than the total. Down right, down, down, 250, 300. So I got something that was close, but it's not right. It's off by 1. So let's see. I got 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 280. Where is the mistake? Is it in Unity? Did I check the down right box? Down right is not checked. Okay, so then we go back up here and we look and see. We got down right. We got down right. Down right. Down right is 64. So where are you? Down right, down right, down right. The turret does not have down right selected. So now we need to go through this and make sure this is correct. This doesn't matter as much yet. It will matter soon. I'm calculating the bit mask range every time here, so that's inefficient. So instead we're going to do that. There we go. A little optimization. This bit mask range here should have not included down right. 120, 150. We got down. We don't have that, so it shouldn't have included it.
Double kill.
Double kill. False, false. Down right is false. So we're going to keep an eye on this value. See when it increases. Nope, 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 nope. Yes. Nope. 160. $128. Do a quick thing here. It's 1 times 2. 64, 128, 256, 512, 10, 24, 48, 26. Yeah. Okay, we go press F10. That's where it got weird. The increment for down 120 okay, so that makes sense. Down 120. Oh, up and up left triggered it. How? How did up 360 happen? And 330, those are all activated. Oh yeah, because they shouldn't have been. So those need to get undone. But that doesn't make sense. Up 330 and up 300 and up 330 shouldn't be. There's a bug there. I'm gonna have to deal with it. What on earth? Because Nook had given you a free subscription, you have access to his emojis.
Double kill.
I mean, I have that. I own all this. Well, I don't. I own all the music. I didn't make the music. I own it, so I can actually play it and use it for whatever I want, which is nice. So if I had a song I liked, I could just play it at a lower volume.
Double kill.
Doesn't get in the way. Okay, here we are. So let's see. We're looking for whenever it would add the value, a value of the amount of 64 to the bit mask. Am I doing bit mask right? I think I am. Alright, let's see what this returns. So I gotta count. Yeah, so this is not working because it's still returning down right. It is. What am I doing wrong? I must have done something wrong. Oh, what am I doing? I'm doing a bit mask against this and the item. Oh no, that's actually right. It is filtering things out, but how am I getting this wrong? Is it because I've changed it to an int and it shouldn't be switching? That doesn't make sense to me. My programmer education is questioning myself now. Something getting added twice. Yes, it is. Look at that, 120. 120 is in here twice. And 210 isn't. There we go. Ugh. And 120's value was 32, and 32 plus 32 is 64. That explains what was going on. Good to fix the bugs. Okay, now that the bug has been fixed, we have to test it.
Double kill.
back on task here. Switch over, immediately hits that, go into here, valid directions, should be all the down directions except for the cardinal ones. Perfect, worked. Alright, now, to save myself some trouble, I'm going to do the fine combing. 30, I think if I do this, we're good. Fine tooth combing there, saves the day. Okay, now taking the list and generating a random direction. So instead of valid directions getting called here, we call it here. Excuse me. And we also can go further and do list directions enum valid directions, and then we just do this if valid does not equal null, no, equals null, then we will give it a value. Otherwise, we're going to return valid directions. There we go. So now it has its own little caching thing whenever it gets called. So then I can go into here and I could say, okay, well, let's, well, this is a getter now, so let's get rid of that. Get, put this in there. Okay, so now instead of doing this, we would do valid directions dot count length. It's a list. I should be able to do dot list count. There we go. Do a random mathf dot random. Okay, so maybe there's actually a random class. Okay, I've done randoms before. I'm doing a random in the wall turret, so let's see here. We've got, should be in here somewhere. Random.range. So that's that, and we have a one here for which direction to shoot, so then we'll go into directions code, and we'll do count +1 because it's not inclusive. So we do random. Is that what I was using elsewhere? This is Unity random, so I want to use Unity random here as well. Unity engine random. So in here, I got Unity engine. Oh, it's because I'm doing a reference to system. So something will break here, so then we'll do, let's just do system.enum. I want to stick to the Unity stuff. if at all possible. So it says minimum inclusive, maximum exclusive. So we want it to actually be count. We want 0 to count, and we're going to take a valid direction like that. Should get me an enum, which I would want to put here. Just so I can see what we're getting. Okay, good. Okay. So instead, it'll be directions enum dot, oh no, shoot directions dot generate random direction. Then I need to put in the actual case directions here. Like that. Oh, I wonder if I did. Yeah, so we want to do Okay, that worked. Now I just need to test this. Waiting for him to shoot down in the right, but closer to the down one. Yeah, I mean that one on the right was. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Okay, now I should be able to. I should be able to take this and make it the actual. You input one of the directions and it returns the angle, right? So instead of it just doing this, I want it to return an angle. So this should be an input to a method that sets the shot angle. Shot angle equals shoot direction dot generate random angle. Okay, and I'm going to use generate random angle, which will call generate random direction, and it will do all this work in here for me. Okay, and then we'll do get rid of shoot directions. We'll do generate random angle, and then we will return the value. Get rid of the breakpoints. Put in return. All right. Now I just got to add all these other directions. Let's get rid of what we already have. We've got down, all the angle downs, and the down. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, I want everything to start at 0, so this is going to be 0, 30, 45, 60, 90, 90 plus 45, 135. 180 plus 45, 225. This should be 270. Down 120. Okay, so let's get you up here. Let's just make it shoot up by default. There we go. 0, 30, 45. Why do I have a down 120? Oh, it's below the... I had a different chart I was using, yeah. So 120's here. Okay, good. Generate random angle. Don't lose sight of the goal. We're almost done with the tank. I can make the tank shoot in any direction now if I add this wall turret controller to it. So, why not? So I go to the tank, and add a component called wall turret controller. So let's double click on the tank so I know it's here. We'll just add the wall turret controller. We have all directions. I'm going to make it shoot something. Don't know what yet. You can make it shoot the grenade, but I don't think it'll actually work. We'll do shotgun bullet like the other one. Alright, and it'll shoot 3 bullets in a row, so it's shooting a range from 0 to 3 bullets in a row. So now, when we load that area, we should be getting quite a few of those things. Let's get rid of all the breakpoints so we don't have any of those trigger randomly later. Ugh.
Double kill.
Alright, so now the tanks are shooting, and they're shooting upwards. Look at that, 10 out of 10. Up, down, left, right. Let's go all these directions. So that's the max potential it can shoot. Boom. Alright, we're going to pause real quick. So the wall turret, like we were talking the other day, does not have the flash material set on it properly. So we'll fix that too. So that There, now when I shoot it, it'll flash white. Oh. Let's do 10 by 10. Double Q. That's neat. I can actually just I could just change the color on the sprite renderer and animate it that way. Alright, tank bullet. We're going to do 1 by 1, make it its normal size. I'm going to edit the hitbox here. So the hitbox actually matches the sprite. You know what? This is a box collider. I can actually use a circle collider. And we want it to be a little forgiving. There we go. All right. Now we'll go back to the tank. And we change it to tank bullet. Those things are huge. Boom, boom, boom. All right. I don't want to get hit by those now. They look really big. Let's see if I take damage. Yes, I am taking damage from getting hit by those. I think I hadn't programmed it yet to where you would die from getting hit by a bad guy's bullet. Oh, it does, finally. Yeah, the tanks actually look threatening. So I want to make it to where the shield will bounce those back. Alright. So look at that, I got the tank turret done. And we've got added a direction randomizer, customizable directions. I've got, yep, it's quite a bit. Alright, what to do next? You know what's going to be fun is once we get to affiliate, I can make my own emojis, and I feel like making like the projectile as one of the emojis would be fun. So then you could just put one of these in chat, which just looks silly, but it could be fun. Some next steps I'm thinking of are adding one of the explosions is right. Is adding another next step I have in mind for the game is to create an animator that will basically make this thing. So if you look at the center of the screen, it'll make this flash. And I can either do a shader or I can use the animator. I'm wondering if I can make a shader that'll automatically trigger itself. Like it has like logic in it. I don't know a lot about shaders. I'm going to have to do the research. Because then I can have the video card flash this, and I think it was on green at the beginning. That's a little weird. What about yellow? The idea is I would slide which color is that? That's the blue color. I would slide it across the color thing like this, and it would make it look like it's really dangerous. Um, it's actually a game design element. You want to make sure that it's obvious that something's dangerous. Let's do. I think. I'm going to find something that I'm actually doing this on first. It's a decal. So decals have animations, and those animations are done by animators. So I need to make an animator. So I have animation clips and animators in the same thing. This is an animator controller, and this is an animation. So these are animation clips. The controllers need to move into the animators folder. Keeps me a little more organized. So now I'm going to add an animator. And this animator, I need to make one. So I'm going to make an animator called a projectile animator controller. So we'll just do tank bullet animator. Okay, so now I want it to enter. So I guess we have our new state. I just wanted to run this animation over and over in a loop. So now I have to make a animation clip. Animation clip, and we're going to call it tank bullet. And I'm going to loop it. Have it to where it loops itself. Now I need to go to tank bullet here, set the controller to be the tank animator. There we go. Then I can go into here. I should be able to select clips. So I guess I have to select it here. Tank bullet. Now I have the tank animation or tank clip here in the drop down. So now I'm clicking on the tank. I've got the tank bullet color. It's normal. I'm going to change it. So I hit the record button. There we go. Now we're going to go take that, put it there. Then we're going to go here. Going to move it to there. I think I could have done a tween on this. I think there's a way to do that. But I don't really, not really concerned about making it top tier for this yet. I will get to it eventually. Maybe I can make it go back and forth, do the ping pong thing. Without having to write any code or do anything. So now it's gone all the way there. And now, how do I make it reverse or go back? I might not do it here. So I've got that. I know what I'll do. I'll just copy and paste. Copy that one, paste it there. No, copy that, paste here. That's going to be like way too much work. Okay. All right. Let's see what this does in the game, if it even does it. So now the bullet should be like, yeah, so it is working. I would say it'd probably be better if it did it faster. Three, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Yeah, that would look a lot better. Alright, that's just for now. Don't need to keep it forever. Added. Moved everything around here. Let's just verify that normal deaths are still in the game and I didn't break them by moving stuff around. That looks good.
Double kill.
That's good. Alright. One could say I'm done with the tanks. What I'm not done with is the tank graphics. So I'm just going to put in tank update tank turret graphic. But for all intents and gameplay purposes, I've got the tank done. The needler type gun with small explosions. I have actually already finished that. I finished that the other day. Crates. Dropping small objects out of crates would be a good idea. The shop tile would be nice because then I could test out the shop upgrades. I haven't decided how I want to do the purchasing of upgrades. I haven't really put any thought into that. Some games you just walk your character on the upgrade and it buys it. I could have an element of that so I don't need to create a UI, I don't need to create a graphical user interface pop-up. And also, why make the player have to start using their mouse? They haven't been using it at all. Why make them use the mouse? So then you have to make them use a keyboard. And then it's like, well, have they been using the keyboard the whole time? It's like, okay, maybe. So then you could use the keyboard. And you don't want it to hop up on their screen and then they're like walking into there and they kind of are dorking around on the keyboard and then they trigger it. So you have to have some clear switch to it. So I could have the shop area be a pop-up. Then I have to design the pop-up window, which is okay. I might want my game to be a bit more friendly, user-friendly. So I think that both up and down, like the arrows on the keyboard and the movement keys will, let you do that. When will you make the controls window? So I'm assuming that you mean a place to edit your key bindings, like in the options. That's a good thing to do. Yeah, so when will I add options? I don't like the current pause screen because it's just, you want to switch the keys on the Mac to opposite. So you want your movement keys to be on the right and your shoot to be on the left. It could make it easy to you just press a button and option to swap the two. And then there also could be a way for someone to change all the stuff. But yes, swapping the keys to opposite's a big deal. When I was playing Xeno Crisis, I couldn't find a way to flip it. You know what? I'm not going to even sell them short. I'm going to jump into their game and see if that option exists at all. They made the game for PC and Genesis and all these other things, but they didn't have I just don't remember it. So right now I'm using the right thing. I go to controls and you see that? I have no way of modifying any of this. So Q and E throw grenades, pause is P, F is discard. We got roll, shoot. We don't have the attack button. This one has an attack button here. So you have less control when you're not using the keyboard. Yeah. So I don't want to do what Xeno Crisis did because I don't have anything in here to fix it. Did I turn all that off? I must have. Too bad. So I'm not gonna persist that. That was just an awful thing. I think what I can do right now is allow it to add an option to allow you to swap the two key sets. And then I can also have it to where you can do complete custom key binding, so then you can modify it as much as you want. Unity does provide a keyboard system. I don't remember where it is. Device simulator. Interesting. I'm going to do Samsung Galaxy S8 and do simulator. Simulator, I should just have it here. There we go. Now I have the simulator, so I'm going to do play on the simulator. Okay, so pause. Let's see. There should be a way for me to switch it into that simulator to see if it would play on a phone. I mean, you can't play this on, it's not easy to play on the phone at least. So I have it on an iPad. Alright, I know where I'm supposed to get to, so just give me a moment. I have to see how silly this would look. Okay, this is not gonna work. Let's rotate like this. All right, we're making a Samsung Galaxy build.
Double kill.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how good they look. I was thinking I could even make it to where they kind of flash a little bit when they're gonna blow up. Dead. That's crazy. So they're... Okay, I want to close that tab. So you actually can play the game on the simulator window or a game window. That's so cool. I already knew that you could deploy to phones. It's just nice to see that in action again. I'll have to give it a go later on. I shouldn't focus on that at all, actually. But if I did want to make a mobile version of the game, I'm going to have to make less mouse dependency. That's for sure. So I don't like the current menus. They need more borders and all that. So, all right. It is lunch break time. So I will be taking a nice little lunch break here. My camera has decided to fog. Okay, it unfogged. I'll be taking lunch break here, and I might come back soon, but I will be here at 3 p.m. Eastern Time to talk about what I've been working on. I'll probably continue doing development. Very productive today. A lot of fun things are made. This direction control is very nice. So, see you soon. Bye-bye.